You to get the fuck out of my classroom. There is no AI in my classroom. So you can pack up everything in your bag, pack it all up, put it on your shoulder, and get the fuck out, and we'll talk about it later.
What the hell is going on? It's AI, sure. Why am I getting kicked out of class for it?
Because it's considered
Why are
cheating.
you speaking? I am your student. Why are you speaking to me like this? It's called I hate reading. It's not cheating. And maybe if you didn't just start fucking attacking me, you could look it up and figure it out.
Oh, maybe if you started studying better, maybe you'll be fine.
My grades are improving. It makes me flashcards. What's wrong with buying your own flashcards? This saves me time.
Close your laptop, put it in your bag.
I'm not leaving. I paid to be here. You have to teach me.
Outside of class, it's a quiz. You finish your business. Close your laptop and you may leave.
I mean, let's be honest. Most teachers are quitting out here. They don't want to deal with the stress of being a teacher because it's not worth it to them. It's just not worth it. The stress, the struggle they have to go through. And we all know how much teachers get paid out here, right? Teachers get paid very, very little to what they have to go through every day, to the point of like most of them, they're quitting now. Like they just don't want to do the work anymore. They don't want to handle all the stress that comes with teaching, like all the blame that you're going to have to take, right? And let's go watch some of these people, how much they really struggle just to go through all the struggle. And let's go watch some of these people, how much they have to go through every day, the struggle, and why most of the teach. And let's go watch these videos and we'll understand why most of these teachers really quit teaching. They don't want to teach anymore. Let's get into it.
So it's the last day of school and I'm sending out emails and calling parents to tell them that their child did not pass my class. And I get an email from a parent that's like, hey, actually, can you call me? I want to talk about my child's grade. And his mom is like, I'm confused. I don't understand that he's failed. And I said, well, his final grade is a 30. So all 4 quarters averaged up from January, it's a 30%. And she's like, I don't understand that. How could it possibly be a 30%? Like, well, to be honest with you, he doesn't do much of anything in class. He sleeps. He has to be told to put his phone away. He has to be asked to leave the classroom because he's not listening. And his mom was like, well, that's just ridiculous. I've never heard this before. Like, this is the first time I'm being told about any of this. And I said, well, that's not true because I've emailed you twice and I've told you that his grade is below a 64. That's what he needs to pass. And I never got a response. And she's like, well, I work. Okay, I don't have time to check an email. I have other children. I don't check my email every day. That's not what people who have jobs can. And she's telling me that I should have never emailed her. I should have been calling her because she's an adult. She needs someone to call her to tell her. Unless she responds back to your email, she didn't see it. So a call would have done better. And I said, okay, I did call you. I absolutely called you. Even pull up the contact log where I called you in January. I called you in February. I sent 2 emails in April. So this is not the first time you've heard this. This is probably the 5th time at the very least that you are now hearing that he's in danger of failing. And so she starts going off. She's cussing at me. She's like, this is BS. This don't make no sense. I cannot believe this. There's no way that my child should be failing. I said, well, to be honest with you, he didn't even come take the final exam. She's like, when was his final exam? Which you should know that. And I said it was Tuesday. And I said he could have came on Wednesday, he could have came on Thursday, or even today, Friday, and took it. He did not. So he has a 0 for that. And she's like, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody told me nothing. He didn't tell me that. How was I supposed to know that he had a final exam? Because you're a parent. So I'm never confused when my students refuse to take accountability. Their parents do not take accountability, so why would they?
I quit teaching. This has been my 5th and final year of being a teacher. If you follow me on TikTok, you probably noticed that I have not posted in a couple months. I haven't posted since February. I have been kind of checked out and mentally and emotionally done with this job. I'm leaving, and it wasn't a decision that I have taken lightly. This is a decision that I have been thinking about all year. This year has been extremely challenging for me. I'm not sure if, for those of you who are not in education, are aware of what's happening in schools, but it's not easy. I don't think people truly understand what teachers are going through. Lots of children are not told no at home, which makes my job extremely difficult when it comes to having them hold accountability for their actions and their mistakes and following directions and keeping their hands to themselves. This year, I have been cursed at by both students and parents. I have been hit, punched repeatedly. And what hurts the most is the lack of support from the families when you are telling them and explaining what their child did. Instead of asking you, are you okay? Or my child did what? They ask you, well, what did you do to make them upset? Or are there cameras in the room? The behaviors that I have had to put up with this year are behaviors that I have never experienced as a teacher so far. I have cried so much, more than I have, like with all my teaching of years combined. I feel like I have taken off so many days from my mental health because I have not been able to mentally or physically bring myself to school. Education is not in a good place right now. It's really bad. I have so many stories that I could talk about that I will be posting later, but it's time to go. It's time to go. Again, this was not an easy decision, but I do feel that it is necessary for myself and my own mental health. And it does break my heart that I am walking away for something that I went to school with and had so much passion for, but that passion is gone. I parent more than I do teach. I'm gonna leave that at that. But I am excited to announce that I will be starting a new job at Heartland Church this July. I will be working as their digital communications coordinator, and I'm very excited for this opportunity. I'm excited to try something different and to start a new passion. So, thank you.
I'm done.
You quit?
Not to be disrespected by anybody. I don't know who you people think you are, but you don't treat anybody like this. It's not funny.
Well, guys, I made it a week, and I asked to put my resignation in. I've been dealing with so many health problems due to stress, at least the last 2 years, and I was hoping that being at a new school would change that. And day 3, I was in urgent care because I thought, doesn't matter what I thought, but it all came down to chronic stress. And I walked in the next day and said, I cannot do this anymore. And, you know, one of the questions people ask me is, why are teachers quitting so much? I'm going to tell you my experience. And this might not be everybody's experience, but for me, I am in fight or flight mode all day long. And I really don't know what would change it. I guess just the caseload. It's so much pressure in so many different areas. It's hard to explain to people that aren't in it. Like, it's not the kids, at least at my school. For some, it's different. At this school, it's not the kids, it's not the parents. It's the workload. I narrowed it down to 2 choices. I said, okay, number 1, I either need to make peace with working 50 to 60 hours, and I need to go get some antidepressants. Option number 2 is make peace with quitting and trying something new. And that's what I decided. And it just sucks because obviously I went to school for this. Like, this was my dream. So not only am I mourning this job, I'm mourning my dream. Like, I thought this was going to be it for me. I love being a teacher. My health is just, my body is saying no more. One of my friends told me, because I keep asking my friends for advice, you know, people who have been in this career for so long, and I asked her, and she said to me, you know, I'm not going to tell you to quit, but your body certainly is. And Colleen, that comment changed my life, and I just gotta listen. Unfortunately, like, I wish so bad I wish so bad it was different. I listened to this motivational speaker. Her name is Abraham Hicks, and she gave a devotional once, and she said so many of us are just chewing glass, just chewing and chewing and chewing and praying to God that our tongues toughen up to this glass, right? Like, please just let me acclimate to the glass. And she's like, why don't you just spit out the glass? I don't know. It's just hard. It's scary. It's hard. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I just know that, like, I can't end up in the hospital. Like, so it sucks. It sucks really bad.
I quit teaching. This is the last video you'll see in my high school classroom. In 2018, I started working at Bel Air High School at the worst time of my life. My dad died on the first day of school, and I started the school year depressed, grieving. I didn't want to be there. And then something unexpected happened. My students started making TikTok and dub smash videos, and they invited me to dance with them. Gradually over the school year, I began to heal from my father's death. My students brought joy back into my life. My students saved me. In 2019, my students and I went viral. We ended up on the local news, Good Morning America, Inside Edition, Access Hollywood, Netflix Explained, you name it. It was truly a whirlwind and maybe the most exciting time of my life. And I couldn't help but think, I could do this forever. I could teach until I retire. And then things got tough. In January 2020, a student was shot and killed on my campus. My classroom became a safe space for students across campus, and I took on an enormous emotional toll in helping my campus grieve and process through what was happening. I wouldn't do anything differently, but it was emotionally draining, and I never really got to process it. I have been burnt out to some degree since that moment. The shooting, the pandemic, virtual teaching, the return to face-to-face teaching, and all of the new challenges of that, it's taken so much out of me. I love teaching and I love my students, but it's taken such an enormous toll on my mental and physical health. I tried to go part-time for next school year. I didn't want to leave my school, but my principal told me that wasn't possible, and I immediately resigned. I just can't do it anymore. I didn't want to quit, but I had to. I could sit here and tell you about all of the negative things, the challenges, the reasons why I quit, but I'd rather focus on the positive things. I won't be a high school teacher anymore, but I'll still be in the classroom. In the fall, I'll be teaching at Rice University and the University of Houston. And don't worry, I'll be taking the doctor.
I quit teaching at the end of the 2022 school year, so I taught from 2015 to 2022 for 7 years in high school math, and I can honestly say it was the best job that I've ever had. I loved it wholeheartedly, and I think about going back no less than 3 times a day because of how fulfilling the career was. But there were just some shifts in education that happened right around COVID, right after COVID, that made me really reconsider if it was sustainable for me to continue on teaching. And those are some things that I still think about if I want to go back. So I just thought I would share a couple of those in case you're going into teaching. It's just some things to think about, not to deter you by any means, because like I said, I still think about going back. So the first one was that I was mercilessly bullied by a couple parents during COVID via email. These parents would come at my teaching and the way that I was handling different situations via turning in homework or the way I was giving tests online. And I was teaching math online, so it wasn't easy. They said they were sitting in on my courses, and they would send me really nasty emails. And when I would reach out to administration asking for help, administration would give me, the little quoted, "You have 24 hours to respond to this parent email," as I'm in tears, like crying because they're being so mean to me via email. And I really needed more support than that. And getting those parents like bullying you via email is not something that you're prepared for when you're going into education. And it wasn't something that I felt that I could handle because I had so many other things on my plate, as do all other teachers. One of the other things was this like prescribed curriculum. I went into teaching because I love obviously educating students, but also I like the creativity and thinking about different entry points for students to enter a problem, because I know specifically with math, it can be a very challenging subject to think about, and how am I going to do this, and discouraging. And with this a lot of the prescribed curriculums, you have to teach either on the day they want you to teach it, or what they want you to teach it, or teach the test they want you to teach. And that's just not something that I'm sure I feel comfortable with. But it just wasn't something that I was willing to change about my classroom. So that was another reason. Number 3 was some of the students' behaviors. Now, I'm not saying that the students are the reason I left the classroom. I still think that students are great people, etc. But I do think that they got a little bit more disrespectful sometimes in different situations where they weren't sure how to handle them, and the maturity that I had previously seen from a 16-year-old, and again, maturity is a weak word because 16-year-old can only be so mature, but even just acting even younger in a situation and wanting everything to be handed to them. The learned helplessness was through the roof. It's, I can't do this, or I'm not going to study for this test so I can get the makeup. And I know that's not all the cases. Like, some kids do have really hard home lives and they do need a makeup. But for me to have to make 5 different versions of a test because one kid didn't feel like studying that night, it was really hard, especially when I was teaching AP statistics and all my tests were comprised of old AP problems, but I had to change the numbering and the numbers had to work throughout the whole problem and make sense. It's really hard to do that X, Y, Z amount of times. So that was really challenging. Another thing was just like, one of the rules that we had was like, you couldn't fail a kid, quote unquote, because if a kid didn't pass the test, they did fail. It's not you failed them, they did fail at the tests. You couldn't fail a kid unless you like contacted their parents. But sometimes I couldn't get on the phone with their parent. Or also, like, why aren't the parents checking the Power School or whatever platform we were using? I can't even remember at this point. Why do I have to be the one that has to go the extra step to also let them know when I've already let them know in my progress report emails and all these different things? It's like, why are you not checking in on your child as well? And again, I know there are different situations. This is just me speaking generally, that these are some of the challenges that I faced. And I would say the last thing that kind of factored into my leaving teaching was the fact that after COVID, everything kind of had to be fun. And there was a shift a little bit before COVID that everything had to, have an activity or a learning experience, which are all great, but some things don't lend to that. So practicing the distance formula maybe doesn't always lend to a learning activity or something along that lines. Or, taking a derivative of something might not always lend to a learning activity. So I felt like every lesson they wanted me to put on some sort of circus and dog and pony show in the front of the classroom and dancing with, spinning plates on stuff. And then when I would do that, it felt like there was no respect for the activity. It was immediately, this sucks, I don't want to do this, or people acting out and not acting the way that they should have acted during a lesson like that. And I felt like people got more out of direct instruction and asked more questions and actually felt like they were learning than when I gave them these activities that I spent hours upon hours upon hours making, and then nobody even wanted to do it.
I quit education 2 years ago. I was a teacher for 8 years. I have a master's degree in education. Ultimately, the reasons that I left was because I realized how bad it was getting and that absolutely nobody was doing anything to make it better. I looked around and I said, I am 29 years old. I cannot do this until I retire. Like, absolutely nobody is coming. And the issues that we were experiencing were ones that had been steadily increasing since I became a teacher. And that's why, like, if you ask a teacher who has been in the classroom for 15, 20 years, those are, the veteran teachers, what was it like when you started and what is it like now? They'll say it was a different world. This is not what we signed up for. This is not what people thought they were getting into. Lack of support from parents, lack of support from admin, student behavior, the implications of testing and that being tied to your job, the student's performance tied to your job performance. I don't want to go into my forever sleep because people brought things to schools and local areas could do nothing about it. Pay is horrendous. I was making $47,000 as a teacher with a master's degree and 8 years of experience. Schools are deeply under-resourced and the public is actively trying to defund public education.
They are testing our kids to death. They are stomping on their creativity. School districts are trying to run like companies with the numbers, and it's not the science of education. When I went to school, we actually, okay, this is the standard, this is the thing that a 4th grader needs to know. Sorry. God. This is the thing a 4th grader needs to know. We gathered the resources, we found it, we made lesson plans, we were creative, we came up with fun and engaging things for our kids to do. We studied Teaching today is not teaching. They want a script. They want a robot. They want their numbers. The word differentiation. So when I went to school, it's like that was the most important thing. Like, you get your student what they need, right? If the child has behavior issues, you figure it out and you get them what they need. If they have reading issues, you adapt their lessons, you get them extra help, you meet their needs. So our district now is going to tier 1. So we cannot differentiate. We cannot give the child what they need. I teach 4th grade. I have 2 kids at a kindergarten reading level. I have about 4 kids at a 1st grade reading level. And they're telling me that I have to teach this 4th grade curriculum that these kids can't even read. You know, like back in the day, it's like, you know, teachers like, okay, turn to page 47 and read this and answer the questions. They can't read the material. But I am not allowed to give them material that is at their level. So they sit there. Also, our wonderful curriculum we have, maybe I'll go into that on a different post if this is, I know my content is all over the place. There's no reading groups. So we just do our whole group lesson, and they do these things that they can't do. So I give these assignments, and I'm like, hey, use this text compared to this text, and use this figurative language. So they're not able to do it. So what happens is when it's not at the right level, you get behaviors. You get like them feeling horrible about themselves. You get them feeling like they're not smart. You get them feeling like they're isolated and that they are alone because you're asking them to do this thing that they can't do. There's so, like, my mind is just, I guess the point of this is I used to love teaching. I used to love teaching. I used to be excited to get here every day, and now I'm sitting in my car crying before work. I work at a really high needs school, and these kids are coming with a lot of stuff, and so I'm meeting their needs. But I'm not enough. I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right, I didn't get this test done. What if I handed you a 7-page test on anatomy and physiology at a doctorate level? And I'm like, do your best. You can do it. Here, just try. And you literally don't know anything on it? That's what we do as a pretest. We have to give them this long-ass pretest, and they're sitting there feeling like crap. And it wastes hours of their life. My kids, I have maybe 6 kids that are on grade level that can do the work. That I'm like, hey, let's do this homework. 6 out of 24. I'm not supported. I asked for resources. My 2 kids, they can't read. I've been told I can't use anything that's not district approved. So I send emails. I make meetings for them to come and tell me what to teach them, because they won't let me decide, because they don't trust me, because we are not valued anymore as educators. I got an email telling me that I was 10 minutes late twice in the last 3 weeks. All of those nights before, I was the last car here. And I took work home and was grading it at 10 p.m. But I'm gonna get in trouble for being 10 minutes late. I'm not valued. This job is sucking. Like, my passion, and I just cannot do it anymore. I don't know why I can't let go of it, because yesterday I had a student come see me. He's 22, and he said, "You, by far, I've thought about you. You inspired me. You helped turn my attitude and my life around." And so many of those kids. Like, I know God is pushing me towards something different. I know that's what it is. And I need to just accept it. And it's scary, because this is all I've known, and this has been through my bad relationships and hard struggles. Like, this has been the only constant in my life. So it's really scary.
I need you to get the fuck out of my classroom. There is no AI in my classroom, so you can pack up everything in your bag, pack it all up, put it on your shoulder, and get the fuck out, and we'll talk about it later.
What the hell is going on? It's AI, sure. Why am I getting kicked out of class for it?
Because it's considered
Why are you
cheating.
speaking? I am your student. Why are you speaking to me like this? It's called I hate reading. It's not cheating. And maybe if you didn't just start fucking attacking me, you could look it up and figure it out.
Oh, maybe if you started studying better, maybe you'd be fine.
My grades are improving. It makes me
Like,
flashcards. What's
wrong with buying your own flashcards?
Why am I? This saves me time.
Close your laptop. Put it in your bag.
I'm not leaving. I paid to be here. You have to teach me.
Not
outside
teaching
of
today.
class.
It's a quiz. You
none of
finish
your
it,
business.
close your laptop, and you may leave.
So if you don't know, I teach high school English 1 and English 3 specifically. And my biggest pet peeve right now, and I've seen it become such a problem lately, is, let's say I give out a quiz to my kids, and there's a passage or something they have to read on said quiz. And the questions are about the thing that they have to read. So the answers are in the passage. They take the quiz. They don't do great. I feel like I failed as a teacher. I feel bad. So I sit down with them. Buddy, why'd you struggle on this quiz? What was hard about it? What was difficult? What'd you find hard to understand? And they look me dead in my eyes and they say, I'll be honest, I didn't read the passage. What do you mean you didn't read the passage? That's step 1. And they're like, well, I read the first paragraph and it was really long, so I didn't read the rest. Oh my gosh, just read it. And they're like, yeah, but it's a lot. But you're gonna fail if you don't. Yeah, but I'll be okay. Like, it's just a regular grade. I'm trying to give it to you. Just read the passage. That's my new pet peeve this year, is kids just won't read it, and they'll just guess on the questions, and then they go, whoops, I failed. That's what they do. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So parents, teachers, we gotta get the kids to read the passage, answer the questions, get a good grade.
Close the laptop.
Okay.
Pack it up.
Whatever.
And get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, are you done with the class?
No, I finished the assignment, and you said we could go.
All right, how many videos were in the assignment?
5.
And how long were each of the videos?
Like 10 minutes.
So it would take how long to get it all done?
15 minutes.
And you've been sitting in class for 4 minutes and are leaving, pull out your laptop. I know you cheated. There's no other way you could have done this.
Okay, I didn't cheat. I don't know why you're making this such a big deal. This is what I did. You said, get it done. I uploaded all your videos. I got it done. I understood them because there's summaries of it. And then I just asked the questions for the worksheet. And if you go down here, this reason it's not cheating, references, okay? So it'll show me where to go back and read to figure out the answer. And that's how I did the worksheet.
This is AI.
Yes,
You're
it's
using
AI.
AI.
Yes.
Because everybody else is doing exactly what I assigned, and you are doing the shortest cut you possibly can.
Oh my, it's 2025, what do you want me to do? I have other things to do.
These kids can't read. They can't decode. They have no vocabulary, no background knowledge. I've never seen anything like it. For context, for 8 years, I taught a self-contained program for significant language-based learning disabilities. Like, it was the most restrictive environment. It was the step before being sent to a specialized school. And my fifth graders with significant language-based learning disabilities could write better than non-disabled seventh graders can now. They can't write a sentence. They don't know what state they live in. They don't know what region of the country they're in. They have no background knowledge. Most of them don't know who the president is. They're coming to school with no background knowledge. They have very low skills. And yes, part of my job is to help them find those skills. And as a special education teacher, I'm obviously going to be working with students who require specialized instruction, but I'm not talking about specifically my students. I'm talking about the students in the grade, period. And this was the case last year. They can't take notes. They can't even attend to a video. They can't even attend to a 3-minute video clip. I can play it, I can tell them what it's going to be about, I can summarize what the video did, and not a single one can tell me what the video was about.
No, y'all, can we talk about it? Can we please talk about it? Let's take a moment to discuss. Let's take a moment to debrief. Let's take a moment to unpack. So I'm not really understanding why they're not telling y'all. We all know that the world is behind, globally, because of the pandemic and stuff. But I don't understand why they're not stressing to y'all how bad it is. I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level. I don't care how you flip it, turn it, swing it, swindle it. They still performing on the 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they just keep moving, passing them on. They just keep passing them on, 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 passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're gonna move that child to the 8th grade next year.
Not burned out until the 2nd semester. Okay? Usually. That's when I approach burnout. Because we get Thanksgiving, we get Christmas, we get all these things. I am burned out. It's September. It has not been a full month yet. Has it been no, it's close to a full month, but it has not been a full month yet. So let me tell you, you know what I'm talking about if you're teaching right now. I saw another teacher from another school across the street from our school walking to her car this afternoon, and she looked like she could barely walk to her car. And I was like, we're almost to Thanksgiving, trying to be friendly. And she was like, just unloaded on me. She's like, I've been teaching for 34 years. I've never had it this hard. What is wrong with these kids? Not in a bad way, but I don't know how to reach them. I feel like one lesson that used to take a day is taking a week now. Ooh, the attention span, blah, blah.
And I teach at one of the more affluent schools. When I tell you that these babies cannot read, they cannot write, and they cannot comprehend, I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. It doesn't exist. I have kids constantly asking me, how do I spell window? How do I spell important? How do I spell though? And they be serious. They're dead serious. I could ask them, who's the main character of your story? The story of 4-paragraph story we just read. Can't tell you. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. It took us 4 weeks to get through how to answer a question in a complete sentence.
And basically, whenever I say kids can't read, they are reading at either a kindergarten or a 1st grade level. When it comes to spelling, I'm seeing a lot of children who can't even spell the word said, for, mother, father in the 4th or 5th grade, which makes me wonder what's going to happen when they're in middle school and high school.
The fact that I have 4th graders who cannot read independently at all is just one, what am I supposed to do? Because teachers are not miracle workers. If I'm required to teach fourth grade standards, the fourth grade standards do not include me teaching phonics. Now, I understand RTI, the MTSS process, and different safety nets like that, but doing that for 30 minutes a day is not going to solve the problem. So what is really the expectation? Are we just going to continue to fail the students and not teach them how to read? Like, what is
The following are actual emails I have received from parents with reasons of why their child should not have to do their math homework. I was notified by my child that you made them miss lunch in order to do their math homework. This is problematic. You have traumatized my child. I will be reporting you to admin, and I want him removed from your class. It was also the parent who complained about me to an external mental health counselor who reached out to me to set up an appointment, but I'll make more details about that in another video. Last night, my child had an emotional breakdown because they got frustrated with the homework. You have assigned way too much homework. Now keep in mind, this was at the beginning of the year. A lot of 7th graders came in not knowing 3rd, 4th, 5th grade math because of COVID. The homework I assigned was to students who did not know how to do basic things that they should already be competent in, like adding fractions. I cannot teach you 7th grade if you do not know how to add 3-digit numbers and how to add fractions. So that is what I said to the parent, that your child is currently at a 3rd grade level. The math questions on the homework assignment do not align with the state standards for 7th grade. I will not be putting my child in distress for content they do not need to know, and my child will not be doing this assignment. This is from a parent who actually made my life very, very difficult all year. One of the emails was, my child had soccer practice until 8 p.m. and was too tired to complete the homework. Please excuse them from this assignment. I get it. People are tired. Not a problem. How about you ask for another day? How about you say my child will do it over the weekend? I'm okay with an extension as long as they get the practice. But no, they just didn't want to do it. Teachers literally cannot hold students accountable when the parents will find every excuse in the book because their child is too emotional and too tired. So then you're going to complain about your child failing. It is the parent's fault that the child is failing.
One of my closest friends just became a teacher. This is her first year teaching 4th grade. And back on my first year teaching, I'm going to be very honest and very vulnerable with you right now. So judge me if you want to. I truly don't give a fuck. I'm on the internet talking to you with a bald head. You think I give a fuck? No. My first year teaching, I became a serious alcoholic. Okay. That's how I was coping. That's why I don't really drink now. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I sold my Bartesian and everything. I really don't try to drink because no. I was a severe alcoholic my first year. I wasn't drinking like real liquor, but I would come home and drink 2 bottles of wine, maybe 3 sometimes a day. That is not normal. That you shouldn't even be drinking a full bottle of wine a day. You really shouldn't. It's really dangerous. I was drinking 2 to 3 bottles of wine, and it got to the point of fact I wasn't even getting drunk no more. Like, I was just drinking it to cope. So she was like, I see why you used to get drunk like that all the time. Teaching is not for the weak. Teaching is not for the weak. Okay? Man. Y'all, man, we got it, man. Look, parents and administrators, from the top to the bottom, we got to catch a grip. We losing these, man, these kids different. And she teaches 4th grade. We losing these kids, y'all. The stuff that she tell me that she dealing with from 4th graders, I be like, what the fuck? I didn't know y'all had it like that in elementary. Kudos to all the elementary teachers. But now she understand why I was drinking the way that I was drinking. Please do not use drugs and alcohol to cope with your career. If it takes drugs and alcohol to cope with a career, you need to get the fuck out of there.
Something is in the water because the behavior is not changing. Something is in the water because the behavior is not changing. When I first started teaching 7 years ago before COVID, I could threaten to call home and they would stop. I could call home and they would stop. This year, baby, I'm calling home. I'm changing seats. I'm giving warnings. I'm writing them up. And it's just like they come back and they do it again. And then the attitude on them. Why do I have to ask you who you're talking to? Why do you not know who you're talking to? And then they always want to be like, oh, this teacher's mean. That teacher's mean. Are they? or you just don't understand boundaries. Okay, because this is not a playground.
Working with children has ruined my passion for working with children. I have worked with children for 7 years. 6 of them were in schools, 1 of them was in a hospital. I have been a substitute teacher, I have been a school counselor, I have been a paraprofessional, I have worked in a hospital with students, I've worked with students at a summer camp, I've worked with children for cheerleading, I've done it all. 10 years ago, when I made the decision that I want to work with children, they were not the way that they are now. iPad kids weren't a thing 10 years ago. Kids have always lacked impulse control. They talk when they're not really supposed to be talking. They can be a little bit silly. They can have crazy bodies, wiggly. It's just different now. And it's hard to explain to the people who are not also in education because they simply just think, oh, older generations always get annoyed by younger generations. You guys were exactly the same. Like, you guys were just as crazy and annoying and not following the directions. That just simply is not true. There's literal research about this. I've kind of come to my breaking point, and the last couple weeks I've been really looking inward and thinking about what do I actually want to do with my life. And I definitely still want to work with kids, but I think I just need to take a break. Like, elementary school age was truly my passion. I love reading books and singing songs and imagination play and cutesy little things, talking about feelings, talking about big emotions and how to handle all that stuff. I truly love that. That's what I got my master's degree in. But I don't want to do it anymore. And I haven't even actually started. My goal was to be an elementary school counselor. So I've made the decision that I think I'm gonna skirt over to high school now.
All right, teachers, this has been the end of my second week of teaching. What have I learned? One, I'm not sure teaching younger kids is for me. I think I might have to go into high school next year. I'm trying to, maybe even next semester. I don't know. But I've come to learn, like, the younger kids, these middle school kids, I cannot reach them the way I want to reach them. You know, I came in here with so much hope and ambition, and these kids have really sucked all desire I have to implement some of the ideas that I had for them. But I'm so grateful to my principal because she gave me an opportunity when very few people wanted to. With someone with a bachelor's, master's degree, coming out of IT, losing their job, and being able to get one as fast as I did, I'm so grateful to her. I'm so grateful to her. But I had so much hope and desire that I was going to, teach these black boys to do this and to do that and to be hungry to learn and have the desire to learn like I have. But they just don't have it, man. Some of them don't know how to read. Some of them don't know how to write. Some of them, they make it their goal to distract the class and any kind of learning that takes place. Sit down, turn around. Sit down, turn around, be quiet. Sit down, turn around, be quiet. And they make it their one focus to disturb every person in the class that wants to learn. And yes, I have 1 or 2 students that I know I'll be able to help, but the majority of my black students are doing so poorly. I will teach a lesson, do a small 5-question quiz, and they get every question wrong, and I'm just like, what were you listening to for 35 minutes? Some of them basic writing, basic reading, I don't know. And then when I call home, yeah, okay, we're gonna get on that, we're gonna do this, yeah, and then nothing gets done. I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's me. Am I not teaching properly? Am I maybe too high level and I need to kind of come further down? We're talking about 6th and 7th graders with no desire to learn.
All right, so what was your thought on that, right? Like, do you think the teachers have the right to say what they're saying? Do you think they're just lazy? Do you think they just don't want to do the work? What's your thoughts? Please comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. I feel like personally, again, based on what I've seen, I think teachers don't get paid enough. That's my opinion. Please don't come for me. But I feel like teachers, for what they have to go through, I feel like they're not getting paid enough. And I think somebody mentioned that, oh, teachers get summer off still. I don't think that's still even enough. Because you have to know most of the teachers, I'm not saying for all, but most of the teachers, you are required to have a master's degree to be a teacher, to teach, right? Most of them, which they have to take loans and whatnot. So it's not an easy thing to be a teacher, right? And then once you become a teacher, you're gonna have to deal with the kids and all of that. Like and with dealing with the kids, you might think it's just straightforward. No, there's always those hard-headed students who don't even want to learn, right? You're gonna have to deal with those students. So I mean, I don't think it's an easy job. What's your guys' thoughts? Please comment down below. I really want to hear your thoughts on this topic specifically. So thanks so much for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.